Hello and welcome to the overview of the PROCOM fleet tracking system, or actually PROCOM GPS tracking system for almost anything, because we have over 1,200 different devices we can use to track items. This first view is what you see when you log in. It's a dashboard. I hardly ever use it actually. At the end of this, we'll be looking at a dispatch screen that will bring all of this together. But I want to mention a couple of things before we get to this, and then we'll go through some of the setup information really quickly. First is you could use this. There's a plug-in that you could use for if you dispatch someone to a customer site and you want the customer to be able to see when that person's going to arrive. You can absolutely use this so they'll know when their delivery or their service person is going to arrive. We have alerts that show up for various things, and these alerts are mostly not real because this is a demo session, so don't worry about that. There's a help file. Anytime you need to know something, you can drill down and say it's something about a report and you want to know something about scheduling reports. You can look at that and see, but of course you can call us at PROCOM and we can help you at any time. Messaging is just something you would use if you were using it as a dispatch type operation. One of the most helpful things in the system is this tracking. At its core, that's what it does. It tracks devices. So right now all of these devices are offline, but I do know that this Demo 2 device was active today because I was experimenting with it. We can look at information about that device. We can open up the alert rules. We can see there's all kinds of rules that we can set up. In this case, one of those is idling. If it idles for more than 5 minutes, because idling uses about a gallon of fuel an hour. We don't care where it happens. It's going to send an email to this sales@PROCOM email address. We can also have it send a text message, but since this is just a demo system, I'm not going to do that. When do we care about it? Anytime. Some things you may not care anytime, but there are other rules that can be set up for notifications as well. We can change settings. There's all kinds of settings on these things where we can calibrate the odometer, the engine hours. We can set how often it's tracked. We can tell if there's unauthorized movement or towing. We can set the harsh driving parameters, sensors in and out, all of those sorts of things. And reports. So we have a number of reports that are available. All of these reports are available. And the one that we typically see the most is this state mileage report, which let me go back to. I have already created the state mileage report. A lot of people who have IFTA reports, they have to do mileage in individual states. They can run this once a month and get their reporting totals per state, and it also breaks it down to individual vehicles as well. So you don't just have to look at the totals. And we can schedule that report. So that report could be scheduled to run every month on the 1st at midnight, so that it gives me the 1 month before and emails that to this email address in either Excel or PDF format. I can also select a device and say, let's look at the history. I can look at yesterday, last week, last month, today, this week, whatever. Let's just look at today. I'll select that. And I see that there is history for that device. And in this case, basically I went from the shop purchased gas, and came back. It was as simple as that. If there were multiple stops, you would see multiple trips here, and it would be all broken down into trips, and you can see all of those individual events color coded showing up here. So this is good for seeing the history and the track. And then we mentioned reports and the scheduling. And the fleet management, the vehicle can be set up in there, and you can get as detailed as you want, the VIN, make, model, cargo capacity, gross weight, fuel economy, diesel, what type of fuel, all of that. Can even put fuel sensors in there where you can calculate cost and fuel consumption. You can track your insurance, all of those sorts of things. You can put in your drivers, similar levels of detail where you put in not only just the name, but you can put in the driver's license and expiration date and all that sort of thing. This driver journal would be for like an ELD type setup, which we're not doing here, so nothing is showing up. And then we have an eco driving, which I only have 3 miles on this, and so far 100% score, no speeding, no harsh driving, and no excess idling. So I'm doing great so far. Maintenance, I could add tasks here to do oil change every 3,000 miles or whatever, rotate tires every 10,000 miles, whatever I want. Have it send an email or text message when that's coming due, and then keep track of what's scheduled, what's due, what's completed, all of those sorts of things in my maintenance records. This field service module, I'm going to get rid of this one just so it doesn't clutter anything up. You can see that I gave myself a task earlier to go get gas, and that was that trip you saw. So that trip, once I made that trip, the system automatically indicated that it is completed. We can do recurring tasks. So let's say once a month you go out and check a pump, and you want to create a recurring task for that. Every month it's going to assign someone to go check that pump. And let's say that there's a certain thing, there's a form that they have to fill out, there's a checklist, certain activities that they have to do. You can have it do that. And there's an app that goes on your phone that ties in with this called XGPS Tracker mobile app. That's what allows us to assign the task and have the interactive capabilities. You can assign a task and track whether someone showed up there, and that assumes they're completed or not without the app. But with the app, you can actually have an interactive component. We can define places. So that pump, for example, we could define where it's located, give it a name, all of that. We can define the staff, break them into departments, and this operator screen. This is the handy dandy one spot does it all screen. So we can come in here and we can measure areas or distances. So let's say we needed to give a quote on measuring on mowing a field, maybe, or a large yard. We could pop into a satellite view, zoom in on it, and we can measure that area. But we're not really going to do that today, but we could. We can also, let's go back to the Google Maps. We could also look at the traffic. You see, traffic looks really good in Texarkana. It looks like it's slow in some stoplight areas, but we got to zoom all the way out to Nashville before we get into harsh traffic. So since traffic's good, I'm going to turn that indicator off. I can create a route. This is something that I can do as a multiple stop route, or if there's multiple places. But let's just say that I'm going to do. Let's just go get gas again. We'll just make it easy, okay? So we got the shop is one point, and we got the Roadrunner as the next point. And then we want to create a new task. And if we had a route with multiple stops and multiple tasks, we could do that, but we're just going to do a single task called gas. Now this is a simplistic task, but you get the idea. So get gas. If I could type. So today, we're going to do it today, and so I'm not sure why it dropped that pin over there, but we want to make sure it's at the Roadrunner, and got to be within 150 feet of that to make it count. And we're going to send Mark, and there's no checklist or no form to be filled out, so we're not going to worry about that. So we're just going to save that. Now notice that that task shows up in the right hand area of the screen, and as a sign, title, gas, get gas, address, blah blah blah, all of that information. So in real time, all your tasks will be there as they're completed or advanced in status. All that would show up. If we had an active tracker, which mine is not, then those would show up at the bottom, and as a dispatcher we can see all of that. From here we can create a new task simply by clicking the add at the top. We could filter on tasks that are assigned by certain individuals, whatever. We can change the view as well to where we're not if we wanted to see these panels in a different arrangement, we could change that, but this is good enough for now. That was a very quick run through of the capabilities of the system, not to mention some of the things that we can do if we tie into other systems, if we use sensors and tie into the device. We could tell, for example, if say it's a tow truck and you want to know every time the PTO engages, we can do that with a sensor. So there's a lot of power in this system, and it requires a conversation with you about what your needs are to best set it up for you to meet your business needs. So we would be happy to discuss that with you, and even provide a demo unit for you to test, and you can experience for yourself what you can learn running GPS trackers in your fleet. Give us a call at 870-772-8485. Call PROCOM, or you can email sales@procomtxk.com, and someone will answer your questions. We'll be happy to give you a one-on-one demonstration of the software, as well as provide a demo unit for you to use for a few days in a vehicle, so you can see how it all works together. Thank you for your time and attention. If you have any questions, give us a call, reach out by email, or make a comment below. Thank you, and have a good day.